out or do anything in your lifetime,
go to 𝗲𝒏𝒂𝒃𝒗𝒆𝒍 ramen.
please. My goodness.
Oh my gosh.
It was just a burst of flavors that you literally never had. I say that confidently. Yeah. You've never had anything like this.
And Bailey actually told us about the
She
ramen.
did.
She's like, you got to go get this gumbo ramen. And she's like, it's only on certain days.
Yes. And she was like, oh, today Thursday, you must go. Oh my gosh. It just.
And I'm like, gumbo ramen, interesting.
Same. We are East Coast girls. That don't make no sense to us.
Interesting, but we gonna try it.
Right.
And it was well worth the try. Like, it was so good. So flavorful. Like, New Orleans equals flavor. Like, the drinks are drinking.
Yes.
Because y'all know me, I don't even like alcohol forward drinks. Mm-hmm. Even with that, it's like, y'all know what y'all doing with the little bitters and the balance.
Yes.
And like, everything has a wonderful flavor.
Absolutely. Because Jasmine was drinking a lot of brown that week, y'all. I just want y'all to know.
Hard liquor? Who am I?
She was drinking a lot of hard liquor.
But that's how it just was so well presented. Hey y'all.
Hey y'all, hey. Welcome to another episode of Travel
by Sexy.
I'm your co-host Natasha Terrell, owner of 𝗕𝗏𝒂𝒗𝒆𝒍 International.
And I'm your co-host Sincerely Jasmine, founder of Boss Babes Love Brunch.
Period. And today, guys, we're taking it to the bayou.
Period.
Because your girls popped up in New Orleans, finally, because we've been talking about it. And now we got to tell y'all all about our experience, period. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. I love me some New Orleans. So hopefully y'all fall in love with New Orleans after this episode.
Yes, yes, yes. But of course, before we jump into all of that, number one, did you get your spot for Bali?
Come on now, because they filling up.
Because they filling up. We don't want you to miss out. Come through and see us and hang out.
Yes, we are going to Bali October 25th to November 1st. Click the link and secure your spot.
Because you need to be there. And then, secondly, before we jump into the NOLA tea, the Know Your Clap. A little bit of gotta smell from our inbox to yours. What is going on in the world of travel, Jazz?
Yes. So not as exciting as this episode. So Dubai is drowning.
Ciao.
So I don't know if you all saw, but in the recent news, Dubai was recently underwater.
Yeah.
So there was like extreme flood weather that caused like cars to be underwater. The planes were basically swimming in rather landing. And it was just a violent storm. Like, it was a lot of water.
I was actually surprised that planes were still landing.
Yeah, it was crazy to see.
But the wild part when I was watching the video was like, if you know anything about Dubai is luxury. Mm-hmm. So it's all these luxury cars floating around it. Essentially, like Range Rovers just gliding through all this water.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, these people have no idea how to manage this.
Yeah, you can tell that they are not used to any type of intense rain. Like, because the systems are obviously not in place.
Yeah, and like I saw an interview, the guy was like, the subway system or the rail system is underwater. The buses are flooded. The bus stops are flooded. And like Dubai's bus stops are like actually really, really nice. They're like air conditioned, like bubbles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they're people that are not standing outside. They're like pods on every corner. They're flooded though.
I was going to say, well, now they are under the sea.
Yes. And I'm just like, and it's also interesting because, you know, Dubai's waters, if you will, are man-made. Mm-hmm. So it's like, again,
it's crazy.
Did y'all think this through? You just don't think you're gonna flood in the desert, I guess.
It's crazy to see, exactly. But again, that's why they're not prepared, because it is technically the desert. So they're like, we don't expect this.
Child, it's given 7 plagues. Like,
I don't know what's going on. We got earthquakes on the East Coast. We got Dubai flooding underwater.
Like,
pray for the world.
In the solar eclipse, like all of this happened
solar eclipse
in
just set
April in a matter
off.
of a week.
Yeah. Everything. Mother Nature is mother naturing.
She is upset.
Yeah.
And Father God is trying to figure it out with her.
Pray for us.
What is happening? Literally,
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of floods, that's a good transition to the episode. We kind of got into some floody weather too while we were in New Orleans. And like New Orleans is also a place that's not equipped for that stormy weather. Like they're not used to that type of rain. So it was literally like tornado warnings, flood warnings, and we saw it. It was bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think a good takeaway of this is check the weather report. I know, and I'm saying this because literally Jasmine will be like, oh, it's going to be the night before we're supposed to leave.
Literally.
And I'm like, girl, I've looked at it already.
Like, I was hoping it wasn't going to rain, honestly.
Don't be like Jasmine and look at the weather report in advance. And
like,
more importantly,
don't. But it will.
Have travel protection too.
Yeah,
because
very
just
true.
in the event,
I would hate to be in Dubai right now, or to have a big trip planned around maybe even a few weeks after this. Like, you know, considering all of the damage that I'm sure is going to come from this, it may take a little while to recover. Yeah. So yeah, that travel protection, which we always talk about, and I know we talked about in a few episodes back, is very important for instances like that, because you never know.
You don't. And
I need my coins back.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to go to Dubai when there's
I'm not going
water
actually.
damage.
Like, like even if I had a trip there like from like a week from what's happening now, I would not want to go.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not going to be a good time.
Yeah, because they're going to be stressed and it's not going to, I mean, obviously I'm not sure, but that would just be the logic. Like,
but in NOLA, we made it work.
Ciao. In NOLA, I'm not gonna hold you.
We made it work.
We made it work, but barely.
Yeah, the rain really was bad. It was terrible.
𝗕𝗏𝒏. Okay.
Girls of Travel Fly Sexy.
Before we jump into today's episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to us on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
And make sure that you're following us on Instagram and TikTok at Travel Fly Sexy.
And of course, if you have a product or service that you'd like to see featured on an upcoming episode of Travel Fly Sexy, shoot us an email at info@travelflysexy.com.
Now let's get back into the episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's jump into NOLA, because despite Mother Nature, we still had a
great time.
Yes.
Exactly.
So first things first, as we always start with our destination reviews, getting there, because you guys listen to us from all over. And so it's important to just talk about flight routes and all that jazz. I will say this. I was on Frontier, y'all, and it wasn't terrible. I know I'm not always aboard excited about Frontier, but the flight was $20 round trip.
Yeah, very cheap flight.
So we got on the Frontier flight, and it was all right, but I'm still Spirit American.
Yeah, it was a good Frontier flight though. It's a quick nonstop.
Yeah.
It is, especially if you're flying out of PHL like we often do. I would suggest that flight with Frontier is usually a good one.
Yeah. Now I will also mention I could not make the takeoff work, y'all.
I
tried. I sent Jasmine videos. I'm like, what can I do? Because it was a 3-day, 2-night trip. Like, I'm like, ugh. And I don't have any status with Frontier because I don't know them people. And they barely know me, and that's fine. But the takeoff just...
Yeah. She didn't make it work. Obviously, I did, because y'all know I'm not spending no money.
I hated that for myself.
Bags, but she tried. And I mean, I would suggest, 3-day, 2 nights are usually good for the takeoff.
Yes.
But we talk about how Tosh packs all the time. She got everything. So sometimes you got to sacrifice. Even with
I know.
Even with her consolidating, it still didn't work. Still didn't work.
I shed a tear. Had to get Frontier.
At least you tried. I know. I felt so bad for you. I'm like, we were doing so good.
It's all right though. Swore I was killing it with the $20 flight.
Right, but
didn't kill it that hard.
But at least the flight was $20.
Yeah. Yeah. Nevertheless, clearly that's how we got there on Frontier flights from Philadelphia nonstop. But as you know, you can catch nonstop flights to New Orleans almost everywhere because of its positioning.
Mm-hmm. Great location.
It's a great location, so it's rarely that you have to stop or connect, I should say. So, check those prices from your airport because they're doing pretty good on New Orleans
they've been
flights.
pretty good. I was just about to say they're pretty reasonable. It's also like festival season in New Orleans as the weather breaks. Like it's just like, so the prices are going to fluctuate. So if you want to go, like we always suggest, book sooner than later.
Yeah. It's, we didn't even book that far out.
No, that's why I was like, it was actually really reasonable.
We still got $20 flights.
Yeah.
And so when we got there, we stayed at the 𝗕𝗵𝒂𝒗𝒆𝒍.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. First of all, this hotel we were excited about anyways because we featured it on with our travel deals before. We've sent clients there, and the positioning of the hotel is just like prime location.
Convenient, yes.
Where you can literally walk to everything. But also, it's a modern and luxury property and spacious.
And then it has the history to it as well. So it has this like super new feel, but then you see certain aspects and you're like, oh, there's actually like some history here. This isn't just like a hotel that just popped up.
Right. Yeah. And the thing I like about New Orleans is like many of their hotels have that French Quarter charm.
Yes, exactly.
Where it's like, yeah, it could be a Marriott, it could be a Sheraton, but then everything else it's New Orleans.
Yeah,
it feels New Orleans.
I love that.
I love that when traveling there.
The architecture is so
right.
gorgeous.
And that's why I was like pleasantly surprised by staying at the 𝗕𝗵𝒂𝒃 because it gave you modern luxury, but it didn't lose its NOLA charm.
Exactly.
And like you said, the history and being and knowing that, because y'all know we do a property tour, so we had to get the tea.
Period.
Knowing that the property was converted from a previously, what did you say?
It used to be like,
it was an office building.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
And so with that, also the rooms are huge.
Huge.
Yeah,
the rooms are so big. Because we had like the standard room.
Yeah, we just had
and it was so big.
Two queen.
Bathroom huge.
Bathroom was the size of our set.
Yeah, huge.
It was humongous.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a nice accommodation in NOLA that is affordable, but also still giving you quality and luxury, because like robes came, slippers came, like happy hour.
And the amenities, exactly. It was such good amenities. Like not only, like Tosh mentioned, is it conveniently located, so you can like walk to Bourbon, you can walk to Canal. It also had a restaurant attached where they had like a wine down Wednesday. They did specials daily, and they had a band playing. But they also had like different amenities in the hotel for guests. Yeah. Like when we checked in, there were macaroons, which was super cute. And then they have another bar in the lobby that they host like cocktail tastings,
which was awesome.
I was like, usually like that's a resort type of thing.
Right. So
it was cool for a hotel to have an amenity like that.
Yeah. And like, y'all know we're going to find a class.
Okay. And participate.
So we were not expecting to do that in New Orleans.
Yeah, that was dope.
And it was like, oh, come to our, what were they making? Just like a couple of different bourbon-based cocktails.
Yeah, it was like NOLA special. So she gave like the history behind them and like how, the type of bitters they used and why. But yeah, it was just a cocktail class.
And it was complimentary, happening right in the middle of our hotel lobby.
Exactly.
At the lobby bar.
Schedule, so you can, if you couldn't make 1 hour, you were out, or wanted to go before you went out, you could schedule different times. And it was a couple other things they did during the week. Like, so I thought that was cool that they had like an actual like activities and amenities to offer.
Right. Like, because it's like, technically they don't have to.
They don't have to do that.
It's like, they know most people are coming to NOLA and they're going outside.
Exactly.
So I don't really got to give you anything, but
we already in the mix.
You already in the mix, but they had indeed added to the charm of, you're coming to New Orleans.
I loved it.
It was fantastic.
The band, the New Orleans cocktails, like it just was very...
It was a very perfect addition to our trip for sure. So shout out to 𝗕𝗵𝒂𝒃.
Yes.
We'll see you again, y'all. Well, hopefully y'all will see them because I think it's a must.
Yes.
What else as far as where to stay? Because what area was that? That was the French Quarter.
French Quarter, yeah. So we were literally like, our block was full of hotels. There was an Aloft right up the street.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of great hotels in that area.
In the vicinity. Troubadour was around the corner, which I love.
Which is super popular.
Yep, has a great rooftop. Our hotel had a rooftop too.
Yeah, rooftop bar with a pool.
Rooftop lounge, and They snapped with the hotel.
It was a great hotel. It was. And again, that area. So even if you don't go to the 𝗕𝒂𝒃, you have plenty of options that are reasonable and very conveniently located. That's what I love about the French Quarter, because it's like you don't have to worry about Ubering everywhere or, you know, catching a trolley. You can implement that if you want to. But when it comes to just going to Bourbon Street, it's right there.
Yeah. And obviously, if you find hotels and you want to stay in the downtown area, kind of like closer to the stadiums and so forth, that would be another alternative. And of course, you can stay on Bourbon Street as well. Now, typically, though, when you stay on Bourbon Street or like right around Bourbon Street, those are where you're going to get the highest costs on your hotel rooms for obvious reasons. It's a popular area and you literally can just walk. But the French Quarter is, I feel like, a good alternative.
Yeah, I wouldn't suggest staying on Bourbon Street.
Yeah, I think Bourbon Street, if you given Gen Z or Gen X, is it? What's the people before the child at this juncture? Young boys. If you giving young boys.
Even then, I don't know. I'm like.
But then for us,
it's loud.
French Quarter. They like loud.
Yeah, but then I'm like, when do you sleep? But I guess, I don't know.
When they don't sleep.
That's true.
I'm just saying. I have
you just
younger
plan
siblings.
on staying up all night. That's true. And
I
just
have
vibing and being in New Orleans.
My brother's 22, and I often ask him, "When do you sleep?"
So I'm like, I'm all for a good turn up, but I'm gonna walk 2 blocks over and go to sleep.
Exactly.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Period. So you did just mention kind of ways to get around, and so we can just jump into that too, because we did the trolley, and I was excited.
Yeah, the trolley is right on Canal. What was it, like $1, $2,
$1.25.
$1.25. Yeah. So, and I think $3 for a day pass.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So if you are in New Orleans and you want to, you know, catch the trolley, which is super conveniently located, it literally runs through the entire New Orleans. $3 to get around for the day is a good joint.
Yeah. Because we'll tell you, the Uber surges. Oh my God.
Well, we also were in a freaking tornado.
I know, but I'm really just like, Uber, I want my money back.
It was so crazy because we literally booked this hotel for all the reasons that we're telling you, because it was conveniently located. But obviously,
walk to everything.
We Uber way more than necessary because of the weather. So that the full day of raining, we had to Uber a lot more of things that we could have definitely walked to.
Literally, we would pull up and be like
no way.
Around the corner.
Like around the corner is crazy.
But the torrential downpour.
Yeah, it was crazier.
It was not worth it.
No,
it was not worth a poncho.
Blocks off a canal were just like flooded. Like you could not walk down. Like cars, it was like halfway up to the car. It was crazy.
It was wild.
But hopefully when you go, it'll be great. New Orleans weather.
Yeah, that was not normal.
It's not normal. Because we've both been there before and never encountered weather like that.
No. I was like, I've never been here when it rains.
So hopefully when you go, you won't experience that. And you won't have to catch as many Ubers. So you could do like a $3 trolley.
For the day.
Maybe a few Ubers. Because I do think the Ubers are necessary for some of the things that we did. So depending on the activities that you're looking to do, which we'll, talk more about, you may need to Uber if you're staying in the French Quarter.
Uber
or downtown.
or Lyft. They're both available there.
Yep. And fairly priced when it's not a tornado watch.
Ciao. That was really crazy, y'all. The funnier part was we were like in the room, kind of just like doing our regular chill morning. And we were like, what's that? Jasmine was like, that must be cars driving by.
Yeah, I thought it was cars because we were like near a parking lot. So I'm like, oh no, that's just cars. And I'm like, oh, it is coming down.
That is thunder.
It was crazy. But we lived to tell the story.
Yeah, but like, we're not even hyping it. It truly was a tornado. Low key blessed to be here today to tell you about it, because they said it touched down outside of New Orleans.
Yep, they actually were like,
yeah. Child.
Telling you, the weather has been doing some weird stuff these last few weeks.
I don't want no parts. Let me hurry. Let me just get through tourist season.
Okay. Yes, because it is here.
So yeah, y'all already know. And of course you can walk. Plenty of ways to get around New Orleans to save money, but also just have a time. And when you get around New Orleans and go to these things, that's where you need to make the magic happen.
This is why you're in New Orleans.
This is why you're in New Orleans.
The food.
At least that's why we was there.
Yeah, like honestly, I mean, there's no other reason to go. The food, the drinks, the culture. It all leads back to food and drinks.
It does. And like it's terrible because we got home and then like a few days later I was like, I'm gonna look up a flight because I really want that Morrow's gumbo
again.
Gosh. That's terrible.
So good. And they will keep you coming back. That food, like every place I go in New Orleans, I'm like, dang, I gotta come back for this.
Jesus.
So good. So let's talk about the food.
All right, let's get there. So we started our rainy, crazy day.
Yeah.
With Ruby Slip. Well, first I'll say this. We got in late Tuesday evening.
Yes.
So by the time we got in, most of the stuff was
closing. Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind depending on if you're going to New Orleans during the week versus the weekend.
Yeah.
We found that a lot of establishments closed
10,
at
11,
9 to 10.
Yeah, it's like
our kitchens closed at 9:30.
Yeah.
And, maybe the bar stayed open till 10, 11. But between 9 and 11, everything was a done
making
bun.
its way to, everything was slowly but surely winding
down. So we were able to get dinner and cocktails at the hotel's restaurant.
Exactly.
Which was, again, fabulous. Like,
great option. It actually was a really good restaurant.
It was. And the drinks were awesome too. Shout out to Paul. But then the next day when we got our full tornado New Orleans day,
start hearing all the thunder. It's like, okay, let's get on out here.
We went to Ruby Slipper.
Yes, which we talked about.
Featured.
We talked about on a previous episode for Brunch Abroad. They are a NOLA staple, like a New Orleans brunch thing.
It was, I really didn't know what to expect, and it exceeded my expectations.
So good.
I don't think I've ever scraped a plate like that. I wish I would have took a photo because it was actually disgusting.
It's so good. Like, it's like you're going to eat every bite. Like,
I said, why is there not a morsel?
So good. And it's crazy because it's like they have multiple locations. So you would think like, oh, this food not going to give like home style cooking. Like, it's like, no, it's somebody grandma back there in every location, I guess.
I was like, what is it? So I had the fried chicken over French toast bites.
Yes, so different.
Bro.
That chicken.
The chicken. What are we talking about? How did y'all achieve this chicken to crisp perfection on the outside and juicy on the inside?
Yeah, I had the Benedicts, which they had like multiple options, but I tried a duo, which was like the chicken Benedict. I think it's like chicken St. Charles, and then it was like a Bayou shrimp Benedict. And it just was so flavorful. Like, both of them were so flavorful. Like, New Orleans, what is in the seasoning?
What is going on?
Because it's something that everybody don't have.
No. And I'm just like, it made me come back and have a better appreciation for Popeyes. I do get it.
You get it, right?
I get it.
That's never a debate. I'm like, it makes sense that Popeyes is Louisiana.
Yes.
Like, they know how to cook.
They do.
They do. And then to top it off, the food's amazing. But then they hit us with these mimosa flights that started our day off very strong. To say the least.
Y'all know Jasmine be like, and now I'm drunk.
I'm like, I didn't think it was gonna be like, and mind you, I've been here before, but I'm like, I just like, oh, it's cute, little cocktail. And the flights are obviously like maybe like 2 ounce cups.
Lit.
Yeah.
When she got to do that pause to process.
Yeah.
Lit.
The mimosa flights hit.
Definitely get the mimosa flight. At first you look and you're like, what is this?
Because it's little kitty drinks, all colorful and small. You're like, this ain't going to do nothing. Let me knock these back. No.
Because that was my logic.
It must be
100% my logic.
I'm like, it can't just be champagne. It must be liquor.
It might be.
This is like, it's giving a little mixed cocktail.
It might be. Because I also was like, how did I get here this fast?
Offer no champagne. I'm going to go back and read. But... And it's sweet too, so it's like, you like, this little Kool-Aid mimosa.
Yeah. But no, baby.
They hit you.
Yeah. So
that was a great start to the day.
It was an excellent start. And the service was also fantastic too. So I will be back to Ruby Slipper.
And then we rode by the next day after it wasn't downpouring. And obviously there were people in there in the rain because like it's New Orleans, people outside. But when we rode by the next day, it was packed.
And it was about the same time.
Like literally packed. Like maybe our weight kind of packed.
Yeah.
So.
And it was a big place. Like this was the newer location that was on Canal. So they made it larger to try to accommodate.
And it was packed. Yeah. So if you do plan on going, get there early because I don't think they do reservations.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't check.
They're walk-in only. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was given. It was necessary.
Yeah.
Then we also did Neo's.
Yes. Come on, Black owned.
Yes. Which that was like I had to go to Neo's. Like Jasmine was like, "What do you want? Like, do you have anything?" And I was like, "Neo's," because my last time in New Orleans, I went there, which was what 2021. I think so, 22 maybe. Who knows? But anyways,
Time's flying.
Time is flying. It's actually rude. It was 22. Yeah, it was 22. And I was like, what is this place? For two reasons. One, the charboiled oysters, which
you gotta get those in
is
NOLA.
a NOLA staple.
You have to. Oh my gosh.
And two, the 𝗬𝒂𝒃 margarita.
She swore by it.
Baby.
And that just sounds so crazy because it's like 𝗬𝒂𝒃 margarita.
Ooh, child.
It's like 𝗬𝒂𝒃 and tequila.
Child, baby, child. And it's funny because like back in my late 20s, I was on a 𝗬𝒂𝒃 run.
Oh, yeah.
Heavy.
Real hot girl stuff.
Real hot girl. So I was like, give it to me in a mark. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
They do a fantastic one there.
Yeah, they make great drinks. Those oysters were delicious. And again, Black owned, so great vibes in there. The service was awesome. We were chatting it up with the staff.
Yep.
So yeah, it was definitely a must add to your NOLA itinerary.
I would agree. Now, I will say, and I said this to Jasmine, and I'm going to say it to y'all because we keep it 100. I feel like the popularity of Neo's has slightly altered some things, not all things, because I do think the last time I went for them charbroils, they was without a doubt the best in NOLA.
Yeah.
Now I feel like they got competition.
Yeah.
But still a good experience overall.
Yeah, it's still a great experience, but I agree. This was my first time trying them, but I've had those oysters in NOLA before. And I'm like, I feel you. I feel you on that. I feel like they could have came a little bit harder.
A little harder.
It wasn't bad. And the vibes was vibing. You know, we was in there
vibing.
having a good time, but I'm like, I feel you.
Yeah.
So yeah. But that happens to some of our favorites with the popularity of just everything. Everybody talking about. Maybe we shouldn't talk about it.
I mean,
Too late now. All right.
Well, here it is. Here you go. Yeah.
The other spots that we went to were also Black owned, so we kind of went on a little New
Black
Orleans
owned
Black owned tour. The next spot was Up and Adam, which I do believe I mentioned before in a brunch abroad as well.
I think so.
They are, I believe it's a Black couple, but they have been here, I think, since 2019 at the same location. Really good location right off the canal. So you can catch the trolley there, catch the trolley back.
Yep.
And the thing that I love about them is the mimosas are different.
Yeah.
They got a list of like different mimosas. The one that we went to was like
Specialty.
the Grand Mimosa, which was like champagne and Grand Marnier.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a variety of like specialty mimosas, which really just give you that little, you know, in the food.
Raise your shoulder a little bit.
Little pinky up, you know.
Pinky up moment.
But then you're also like, it's definitely gonna get drunk.
And did.
But that food though, that catfish and grits.
Woo.
Oh my gosh.
And let me give y'all a pro tip. If you're torn between the shrimp and grits and the catfish and grits, order the shrimp and grits and ask for a piece of catfish on the side.
Yeah, both.
Baby.
Yeah. That catfish was so perfect. What was it, like a crawfish like sauce?
Yes.
On
like
the
a
grits?
crawfish Creole sauce.
I ate every last bite. If you know me, if you go out to eat with me, you know I'm not a eat every last bite type of girl.
Right.
But
I
was
saying.
hungry.
Why are we cleaning plates?
I was like,
all
oh yeah,
up and
this
through
plate does not stand a chance.
Cleaning plates, scraping the sides.
But that's how good the food is. That's what I'm like, this is what we're here for.
So
It
good.
did what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, Up and Adam was a great experience. And we just like sat and chatted and hung out. They didn't rush us out, even though they were closing down. And it just, you know, it's a breakfast brunch spot. So they do, I think, close at like 3 or something like that.
As well as Ruby Slipper, I believe. So keep that in mind that it's not somewhere that you can go for like that traditional brunch hour, like maybe like a 3, 4, you can go out late. It's like, no, you want to get there before 12 for these spots.
To make sure you get a spot.
For the wait in, considering that they close early. So don't get there too late.
The Up and Adam team, it was just, they let us rock out, let us finish our
Shout out to
bottle.
Bailey.
Yes, Bailey girl.
Our girl. Bailey was my server when I went in like 2021.
Which is crazy.
So I'm like, Bailey, I remember you.
Absolutely. And she gave us some good recommendations for the rest of the day as well.
Yes, yep.
But Neo's, I'll say, is lunch and dinner. So I feel like they open it like an 11 time
I think
frame.
they do. They have a new location as well that they do brunch at.
Okay.
So they have I think it's Neo's Steakhouse. Oh. And if I'm not mistaken, it's right next door to Neo's Cafe.
Oh,
so
I didn't even have my eyes open.
Yeah, but it's only open on different times than the cafe, and they do brunch and I guess maybe like a more formal dinner.
Interesting. But yeah, and then Neo's also has happy hour as well. So
yes, great happy hour.
I could pull up on a happy hour tip too. And then
last but certainly not least,
come on now, Morrow's. Come on now. Burn, burn, burn.
Yes, and if you know New Orleans and you don't know Melrose, like look it up.
Please.
Yeah, but it's one of them ones.
But the thing that got me, and lucky us, I came to find out because we went on a Thursday and we got to try gumbo ramen? Mm-hmm. Baby.
Thursday and I want to say maybe Sunday only.
Yes. It was one more day. I think it was
maybe Saturday.
I think it's Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday.
Yeah, it's real limited, real exclusive.
Oh my gosh. If you don't know or do anything in your lifetime,
go to Melrose for that gumbo ramen.
Please. My goodness.
Oh my gosh.
It was just a burst of flavors that you literally never had. I say that confidently. Yeah. You've never had anything like this.
And Bailey actually told us about the
She
ramen.
did.
She's like, you got to go get this gumbo ramen. And she's like, it's only on certain days.
Yes. And she was like, today, Thursday, you must go. Oh my gosh. It just.
And I'm like, gumbo ramen, interesting.
Same. We are East Coast girls. That don't make no sense to us.
Interesting, but we gonna try it.
Right.
And it was well worth the try. Like, it was so good. So flavorful. Like, New Orleans equals flavor. Like, the drinks are drinking.
Yes.
Because y'all know me, I don't even like alcohol forward drinks. Mm-hmm. Even with that, it's like y'all know what y'all doing with the little bitters and the balance.
Yes.
And everything has a wonderful flavor.
Absolutely. Because Jasmine was drinking a lot of brown that week, y'all. I just want y'all to know.
Hard liquor? Who am I?
She was drinking a lot of hard liquor.
But that's how it just was so well presented. And I mean, actually, speaking of that, one of the things that we did was a tasting during our super rainy day. We're like, what are we about to do?
Yep.
Because it's literally downpouring. So we could go back to the hotel and work on our laptops, or we could make this trip meaningful.
Right. Because things to do and experiences to have because we stumbled upon what, in my opinion, a must.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So
it was
good.
So good. The day started off drunk. Middle of it was drunk and drunk,
It was actually a very drunk day.
And again, this is why we went. The trip did what it was supposed to do.
It did. And somehow we had a meeting that day.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. That's another story. We'll save the work for a different episode.
I'm like, God, how did I get here? But yes. Shout out to Jasmine because we were sitting at Ruby Slippers and we were like, okay, what we gonna do? Because the rain is intense.
And it was not given. It's about to slow down.
And Jasmine was like, we gonna find something to do.
Okay, y'all know me.
Figured it out. TikTok,
Google, we gonna figure it out.
I was actually impressed because if y'all know me, I'm like, I don't know. So that's why we make a great team. And she stumbled upon the Sazerac house.
So good.
And y'all know I like brown, I like champagne. That's pretty much my palate. So Sazerac is like if, I don't know, absinthe and bourbon had a baby.
Yeah.
Sazerac was born. And this whole experience was dedicated to alcohol, education, experiences, and getting lit.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like a museum of the history of Sazerac in New Orleans and how it came about, and the different types of cocktails that they created over the years with it, and how it just became a part of the New Orleans culture.
Absolutely.
And throughout it was all these interactive little things, which was super cool and cute and informative. we just never. It just was really cool.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going to be like that. I'm like, we're going to just pop in and pop back out. But it was, maybe an hour to an hour and a half worth of
we were in there for an hour and a half.
It was a good job.
It was. And I just, this is the nerd in me, because I just kept saying, the technology in this museum. It was
so impressive.
The interactive exhibit.
So it was one of the best, like, immersive experiences that I've ever been to. So that's why I was like, we really stumbled upon a gym, because we're like, okay, you'll learn about it. It'll be some photos, some little tastings, and then we'll head out. But no, it was like multiple levels, the interactive screens. It was like you can engage with bartenders and they'll make you cocktails, like virtual cocktails, and tell you how it's made. And then on each floor, there were actual tastings where they had those signature, like, New Orleans cocktails that we got to try. Yeah. And then it was a gift shop at the end. You got to buy stuff, which was greatly priced.
Yeah. Another pro tip.
Greatly priced.
Jasmine's pro tip for that.
Yes.
She said, buy your alcohol or go to 𝗓𝒂 House day one.
Early. Exactly.
Get your alcohol for the week and go about your business.
If you're there, let's say for 4 days, if you can go that first day, depending on what time you land. If not, go the second day early and get you, like, it was like $3, $2,
it
like
was crazy.
Shooters and all these different things. So it's like, those are great just to have as you're, walking around Bourbon, walking through the French Quarter. So that way you're not just having to load up on cocktails in all of those bars, because, you're going to be drinking.
You can, spike your grenade and make it a little harder.
Make it stretch. Exactly. So I definitely suggest you getting you some little shooters from the 𝗓𝒂 House to start your trip.
And they had like full-size bottles for no money.
Great price. So if you're a person who pack a check bag or take stuff back, I would buy it.
Yes, we were shooketh.
Yeah. It was worth the purchase.
100%. So yeah, the 𝗓𝒂 House.
And it was free.
10 out of 10. That's the part.
It was free. Sorry, forgot to mention that.
It
was a free experience. You register at certain times on their website. You can tell that it's a newly built building. Yeah. Like, it's so, like, innovative. It's really nice. So definitely go.
Yeah, and it was attached to a hotel. Can't think of the hotel name. I'm not sure if the hotel is called 𝗓𝒂 as well, but attached to a hotel right there on Canal. And what?
Yeah, it was a gym.
Oh my gosh, we had so much fun.
It was really
like,
a vibe.
You can go back and watch my story highlight, because it barely is one, because we were having so much fun.
It was so fun. It was.
But I tried to go through the 𝗓𝒂 House in the story, but you could literally just see us keying around this establishment.
I'm like, and that's when you really know, like, when you feel like a kid in those, like, museum experiences, that's when I'm like, y'all did that.
Yes.
When grown people can come in places and feel like, wow, this is so fun. Like, it's an amusement park. I'm like, you guys really did this. This is a great experience.
And also, you gave us free alcohol.
Like, I'm drunk and I feel like a kid in a candy store.
Literally.
An adult in a liquor store. Like, feels great. It was awesome.
It was so great. So add the 𝗓𝒂 House to your NOLA itinerary when you go. And outside of eating and drinking our way through New Orleans, we also stumbled upon, I didn't know. I don't think you knew.
Yeah, I didn't know
that it was going to be the French Quarter Festival while we were there. And that was neat, because I don't know about you, but I've never experienced like a festival in NOLA.
That was my first time experiencing a festival. And I know NOLA is a festival city. Yeah. Like, they do festivals like no other. So it was nice to just get. It also wasn't a testament to them being a festival city, because I'm like, here we are in the, like, top of the spring, and you guys are just popping out in festival mode already.
Yes, like,
and then they're like, oh, come back at the end of the month, and it'll be this, and it'll be that.
We okay.
But yeah, it was awesome to stumble upon. And it was so many people out. Like, even despite the, rain and the weather, obviously it had cleared up for the next day, but it was crazy to see so many people out, because I know I would have been like, oh yeah, I'm done after that rain.
See, I'm the opposite, because I feel like I got a battery in my back after I got, rained out, if you will, the day before. And now you're like, all right, it's sunny now.
If I was a vendor, I would have backed out. Like,
oh my gosh. Now,
the way that rain was,
the vendor side of it was certainly probably trying.
Yeah, that was crazy, but it ended up being great.
Say, from what we saw,
beautiful day and a super successful festival, especially coming out of that weather.
Yeah, and another pro tip, I guess this episode is full of pro tips. If you are interested in attending any festival in New Orleans, they say the best day to go is the first day of the festival.
Yes.
This is brought to you by locals. We had the conversation from New Orleans locals.
Yes.
And they said that the best day is the first day because it's typically the local day where the locals come out and hang out and you can interact in that regard.
Exactly.
It's also typically the lowest cost day for hotel accommodations, which then to generally soar for the remaining days of the festival. And then it's also usually the less crowded day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if a festival's a week long, people like tourists are usually going to roll in closer to the weekend, just to like capitalize on what we talk about all the time, PTO and time off and stuff like that. And usually the bigger parts of the festivals tend to be the latter of the weekend. So if it's like a main event or if it's like a performance or something, that may be like Friday. So if you can get in Thursday or Wednesday,
you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, because it was still a crap load of people.
Oh yeah,
like even with it being the very first day and the day after, like a terrible storm, it still was packed. It was packed. Like them lines to get food was long.
And I was just about to say, if you think you know festivals, you don't know festivals until you've done one in New Orleans. Yeah, because those vendors. Child, this is not a funnel cake and corn dog. This is gumbo from Moro's at the festival.
Yes, like
this is seafood mac and cheese,
crawfish and lobster mac and cheese. Like
festival.
The vendors were doing their thing.
That's the part that had me. Yeah. I'm like, oh, this ain't hot dogs, hamburgers, and funnel cake.
It's giving hurricanes and gumbo. So bring your appetite because the festivals are popular. And they all have that. So even if it's like a music festival, art festival, they all have that NOLA aspect of the food and the drink.
Yes. I was like, oh yeah, it's lit.
Crawfish mac at the festival. So y'all, luckily I ate.
Right.
But I thought about it. We stopped. We looked at the signs
like, like, do we want to?
Is this but we literally ate and we literally were going somewhere else after to eat again. Yeah. So it was like this, we shouldn't, but we thought about it. We did. We stopped a couple times, read some signs, looked at each other.
Like, it was
we
like,
can share.
Dang. Now I wish we would have. But it's all good.
For real. That crawfish mac.
You still
coming back for you. Y'all know me. Once I think about it, I'm gonna go back.
It's gonna happen. But yeah, so I mean, festival season is pretty much upon us now.
Yes, absolutely. So we talked about that a few episodes ago.
Now so we take a look at all the different. Honestly, look at the cities that you were interested in visiting, and then see what their calendar looks like. Because you can go to, the Visit New Orleans or like visit that city and see what's upcoming. I often do that when I go to Chicago because their visitors website is so good.
Visit Chicago, always a good one.
Telling you the whole calendar of season.
And they're big on festivals.
They are. So this summer, why I look at them.
The summer. Dang.
Right, you're like, dang, now we gotta get to Chicago. Yeah.
All right, Nola.
Dang, gotta get to Chicago. Don't ask me why I say Chicago. I literally say Chicago. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's not a Philly thing.
I don't know why.
It's probably not a Chicago thing either. You done brought a little bit of that NOLA back with you.
Know. I always say Chicago. I don't know. Overall, well, anything else before we go overall? Anything else that we miss?
I think that's
everything. We was in and out
of a lot. Yeah, it was a very quick in and out, but we got a lot done.
We did.
We got a lot done.
Ate a lot of food.
Drank
a lot of drinks. The whole next day, I drank all water. Yeah. Matter of fact, when I landed and Kyrie picked me up, he had a big water bottle in the car.
He knew. He said, oh, yeah.
I chugged it. He just looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, the last few days, babe.
Yeah.
Gotta rehydrate.
After our 𝑗 house and our cocktail tasting, Tosh was done. She was like, sorry, I'm going to head out. And I'm like, it's okay, girl. I'm going to keep going.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even tell them. Child Jasmine had a random evening. Yeah. We already tell y'all. At a certain hour, gotta go to bed.
Yeah. And usually I'm on board for that. But like the rain, like the fact that it had stopped raining, I was like, I'm going to like keep going.
And I had the wherewithal to keep going, but had I kept going, I just wasn't sure how it was going.
She was done. I was like, I'll take that. I'll take that. I was done too, but I was like, I'm gonna just crash out.
I was like, you gotta know your limit, and I was
like, I can take one more drink, maybe
teetering over the limit.
Yeah,
and I really think it was that damn cocktail class.
The cocktail class really was, but we also came from like a tasting, like so we did the flights, and then we had the tasting, and then we did a cocktail class. Then we sat and had a few cocktails. It's like, we're done.
Like, I can't do it
we're
anymore.
Done. Wrap it up, Nola.
I got the tempo. But
it was a great trip. Yeah, it was a great trip.
I was like, I hope I was like, I'm confident my good sister will make
I'm
it
like,
back.
I'll be back.
She made it back. Woke up, she was there. I was like, whew, child. But she went out with like people that we met in the hotel. So it was like, I think she's okay.
New Orleans, you win.
Yeah, New Orleans, you win. I'm curious though. Are you guys that friend? Like, which friend are you? Are you like, you're going to rock out, keep going, no matter if everyone's with the crowd? Or are you going to just say, all right, if no one's going, I'm going to head to bed? Curious.
I'm usually the friend that be like, y'all leave me. So that's why I'm
like,
anytime someone does that, I'm always like, I get that. Like,
I was like shocked, but I also was like, go Jasmine.
Right. Because usually I'm like, but I was like, look at me.
Because I don't ever want to be the person that's buzz killing the vibe.
Like, no, come lay down. Like, girl.
Like, no, it's perfectly fine. Enjoy your time. Me, I have nothing left to give. Like, and it wasn't even all the way sleepiness. It was just like, if I keep drinking, I'm going to be a hot mess tomorrow. Yeah. And I'm like,
very mature of you. Yeah. She's like, let me go take an Advil and drink a bottle of water. I'm like,
precisely what I did.
I'm going to get a hurricane.
Meet you at the room.
But I will be back.
Yes. Love that for us. Great balance, No, and neither one of us is offended. All is well. Be more like us.
I love it.
Overall vibes and ratings for Nola.
10 out of 10 for me, always.
Like,
the food, the drinks, the vibes, like the hospitality. They have that Southern hospitality, great people. You can connect with like the people of New Orleans so easily, which I love. And they embrace everyone. So they're always like, where are you from? It doesn't matter. They're like, oh, like some type of story to connect with you. Whereas like I feel like East Coast, we be like, where are you from? Oh, you from da-da-da-da. Like it's like, always
why we immediately sucking our teeth and judging. Oh,
or you don't look like you from there.
Like,
what? Oh, Philly, I love it. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for me.
Definitely. I think you nailed it, because those are 100% the vibes of Nola, and the rating is absolutely 10 out of 10. And before we close out the Nola, we also have to shout out Bayou Rentals.
Yes.
Because we met the owner of Bayou Rentals pulling up when we were leaving the festival. And he was so cool. And also, these are luxury kind of scooters and golf carts that you can use as another mode of transportation.
Exactly.
To get around
in the
New
French
Orleans.
Quarter, which is even easier. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, so he pulled up on us, and then we took a little ride. Like, we hung out. We definitely were in rare form.
Yeah,
why did we get
drunk,
in the car?
I was looking at these
Not
videos
the car,
like,
but
me and Tosh be drawing.
Like, we were,
but a great time nonetheless. And that's why we do what we do. We bring it back to you. We don't got to tell you everything that happened, but we was having a good time.
Right. Like, I'm like, okay, this was cute. This was fun. How you doing? So, but we did find another great alternative to getting around.
Exactly.
So it was
always making connections, networking, no matter how drunk.
A time. Thank you, New Orleans. Lord help us all. And so obviously now, listening to this, you're ready.
Your time to go to New Orleans.
To New Orleans, okay? Because if you didn't know, but now you know today, Jasmine and I are both a part of Travel Goddess International, which is a full-service travel agency that can assist with getting you to New Orleans.
Yes, getting you outside. So whether it's NOLA or this wonderful travel deal we about to talk about, or anywhere, we got you at travelgoddessintl.com, and we're going to get you outside.
Because that's one thing we are going to do.
Period.
And then you can go back and listen to this episode and know what to do when you go outside.
Right, exactly. There go the itinerary.
I just want y'all to know the free game is gaming.
Come on.
It's time for the travel deal of the week. All right, y'all. We are getting into, what is this time?
It says
season. But more importantly, I love to see a summertime deal.
Yeah.
Because summertime and deal
summertime and deal don't really
go together.
They don't be vibing like that.
They're definitely not.
Yeah, it's not giving NFL about to be vibing. It's giving opposite.
It's giving opposite.
Enemies.
So this is a summertime deal for your life.
Yes.
5 days, 4 nights in the Bahamas, which I feel like we haven't really featured.
I've never been to the Bahamas.
Ooh, so some of the bluest waters.
This is actually intriguing to me.
Some of the bluest waters I've seen in the Caribbean. This is going to be mid-July, so Sunday to Thursday, with round-trip flights via JetBlue, nonstop from LaGuardia International Airport, which is in New York or outside of New York. And they recently renovated that airport, and it is fabulous. Because low-key, it used to be the stepchild airport of New York.
Yes. JFK little brother.
Like definitely nobody check-in, maybe middle child.
But yeah, now it's given, I'll go to LGA
Absolutely.
versus JFK and deal with that chaos.
Absolutely. It's beautiful, the renovations. So nonstop out of LGA and a 4-star, all-inclusive, adults-only accommodation, the Warwick Paradise Island.
Come on, Warwick.
Yes, which I stayed at my very first time going to the Bahamas.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And that was a time. I got really, 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 really lit.
On theme with the episode.
And it was a solo trip, so don't do that.
God, we'll talk about that off here.
No, all of that, guys, for a stack a person. $1,000 a person.
For Bahamas, and the nonstop is what got me. Like,
yes,
nonstop is what got me because we love a good nonstop flight.
And if you know anything about the Bahamas, it's an expensive destination.
It is.
It's a very expensive destination. For multiple reasons, but one of the biggest things being they have to import a lot of of their stuff.
Yeah.
So they gotta recoup those import fees and all of that. So they tax the tourism accordingly. So $1,000 for 5 days and 4 nights, all inclusive.
Yeah.
Adults only. That's a really good in the summertime.
Yeah. All inclusive is also hard to get in Bahamas.
Oh yes, so it's very few.
It's very few. So Warwick, come on now.
Yeah,
for $1,000.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that deal, it is a standard deal. This is how much we love you guys.
That's a good one.
Standard deal. So you could totally just click the link in the show notes and view the details of the deal. Doesn't necessarily require a membership,
or you could just pay $9, had a membership, book that one, and then you have access to the exclusive.
Because they be dealing. You already know. Go back and listen and do what you do. That $9 a month gonna get you real far for the low. So yeah, visit our website and be outside this summer because if spring's here. If spring's not giving what it's supposed to give, now's the time to consider summer.
And if you don't have summer booked, now's the time to have summer booked because
I'm concerned.
Yes. And I'm talking to myself.
I'm concerned.
Yes. It's time to book these flights.
Please. And the Bahamas is definitely a very modern destination in terms of they know what's going on. They're in tune with the happenings and the culture. So with that being said, they absolutely got brunch.
A little brunch in Bahamas.
So it's time to get brunchy.
Yes. So this week's brunch abroad, keeping it at home, because I feel like I've been neglecting Philly. We got some gems. Jerry's Bar. So this is in, Jerry's Bar?
Yes, in Northern Liberties.
In Northern Liberties. It's a good joint. It's been a good staple. They've been there for a while. They had that signature old school car parked out front of the restaurant. But it's like a classic restaurant. Mm-hmm. The food is so good. It has a homey feel to it. But the cocktail. Yeah. Like they do mimosa carafes. Then they have specialty mimosas, so different flavors rotating weekly. I think the last time I had like a white cranberry something different, which was really good. But they espresso martinis hit too. So if you're espresso martini girl, they have a variety of options, which I love. Yeah, you get your creamy, they have bourbon on the menu, so you don't even have to. They know how to make it.
I don't got a substitute.
Exactly. You don't have to sit there and think like, oh, I like my espresso martini like this, but are they going to make it how I like it? They have a list of making it how you like it. Dang. And that's what does it for me. A real brunch cocktail type of place.
So I haven't gone there for their brunch.
It's so good.
I've just gone there for happy hour. Yeah. But their food's good.
Their food's good.
Yeah.
And they have a live band, I believe every Sunday for brunch.
It's been a hidden gem for a very long time. The cat is out the bag.
Yeah.
It's out the bag.
But when they've been featured on these like bar crawls and stuff, I'm like, everybody knows. They know. Everybody knows.
Darn.
But they also, it looked like extended. So it's like a little extra side to them where they have some extra seating. So I think as people are learning about them, they add a little extra space. Because last time I went there, I sat on the side that I'm like, I didn't even know this existed.
Yeah.
So...
Yes,
Jerry's Bar, Northern Liberties, Philly, a good joint.
Yeah, not NOLA, but no libs, but close enough. Northern Liberties, we say no libs, has a lot of good gems.
Oh yeah, brunch, happy hour. Yeah, that's what I'm like. I'll be sleeping on home. Let's talk a little bit more about Philly.
Yeah, they outside in Northern Liberties.
Yeah, literally.
Literally,
the outside seating.
It's
literally you're outside. They don't have that much space inside. Actually,
because it's a lot of like converted homes and just things like that. That now are bars.
Sitting outside. Actually, you have to.
Love it. Oh, shout out to Jerry's Bar. Now I gotta go for brunch. Last but not least, question of the day.
Yes.
Question of the day, Jasmine. What is your most annoying airport pet peeve? Like the thing you see in an airport and you're like, come on now. Which one? What is it?
That's tough. You go first.
I almost like default to bonnets and slippers, but I think I really don't think I'm gonna win that battle. So y'all go ahead and be great. I'm gonna stop talking about it because
so I'm not dying on that hill.
I'm not like y'all just gonna keep rocking out and y'all probably judging me. So all is well. But additionally, and this is gonna sound so messed up, I do not like those little kid rolling suitcases. I'm sorry, parents. I know they're effective.
That crossed my mind too.
But I've gotten my foot ran over it one too many times by a rogue suitcase.
Yes.
And I'm officially over it. Okay. So when I see and this happened the last time we were in Antigua. We were going to Antigua for the wedding. The family was coming off. All three kids had the suitcases, and the parents could not control them. So it's like now we're all victim to these rolling suitcases, and the parents are over it because they just spent 4 hours on this flight with
just do what you want.
Crazy children. It's not conducive to a pleasant
mind.
Airport experience.
That definitely crossed my mind. And another thing that crossed my mind was animals. And y'all know I love my dog. I love dogs. But yeah, that's always like interesting when I see like bigger animals in the airport. I'm like, what's happening? But I would say my biggest pet peeve is people who are overly drunk in the airport, and it shows. Yeah.
That's
like just like being really rude. If there's a delay, that person who's like, I've been waiting here for we all have. We all have. Absolutely. Like I get it. Like, and I know you go to the bar and you sit there and you try to kill time with delays or whatever. Some people get to the airport early, but I'm just like that overly intoxicated group where it's just like, I get that y'all going on vacation and like me too. I can't wait to turn up. But like I'm also drunk, actually. But I just don't don't get kicked off the plane. Like don't mess this up for me. So that kind of makes me uneasy.
Yeah. Well, what is I should say your most annoying airport pet peeve?
So many.
There are so many, and I'm sure there's like. When you guys type them in the comments, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah,
that one. That's what I'm like, I could actually list a lot.
That's a drawing one too. Drop it in the comments. Let us know. Give us a laugh, because I'm sure y'all in here tickling. I know y'all was tickled at the suitcase, unless you're a parent that has one. And in that case,
sorry,
sorry, not sorry.
Watch it.
Watch my feet. Okay. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the episode on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes, and follow us on socials at 𝗕𝗏𝒂𝒗𝒆𝒍, Instagram and TikTok. Like, share, comment. The engagement is appreciated.
Yes. And of course, if you have a product or a service that you'd like to see featured on an upcoming episode of TFS, shoot us an email, info@travelflysexy.com.
Yes, and leave us reviews. I was going through some of the Spotify reviews, which I noticed you guys were leaving, that you enjoyed destination. Someone said they enjoyed destination reviews, so we gave y'all another destination review. We'll try to keep them coming, but leave us reviews, feedback. Obviously, it's value. We want to make sure that we are tailoring the episodes to what you want to hear.
Absolutely. Oh, guys, I love it here. Hopefully you guys do too. Well, based on the feedback, it sounds like you do. So yeah, anything else?
That's it. That's our episode.
Come to Bali.
We'll see y'all in Bali.
Yep. Click the link in the show notes. Period. And until next time, guys.
See y'all next week.
Bye.